What brought you in to see me today?
Well, I'm having a lot of anxiety. I just experienced my friend just passed away, and now I just am having trouble focusing. I'm having trouble in my classes, and it's just been very stressful, and I'm feeling really anxious lately.
So it sounds like that you're having a lot of anxiety because you just had a
Look at the
friend
main
that
door
passed
key.
away. Is that right?
Yes, yeah, it is. It's been a lot of like worry that the same thing's gonna happen to someone else. It's been a lot of anxiety over that.
So when did your friend pass away?
That was about a month ago.
When did you start feeling anxiety?
Well, first I was all right. For probably about 2 weeks afterwards, I was just fine, and then I started getting like really anxious. So I guess it was about 2 weeks ago is when it really started.
What happens when you start feeling anxious?
Well, I start worrying about things that I know I probably shouldn't be worrying about, but I just get so worked up over it, and I feel my heart start beating faster. I feel like I can't concentrate on anything, and it almost feels like a panic attack, but not so severe that I'd go to a hospital or anything, but I just feel really overwhelmed over it.
Is there a particular place or time that you start feeling anxiety?
Oh, especially when I'm in the car. It's when I'm in a car and I just feel like I can't get out, and I'm just afraid that I don't know what's going to be going on. You know, it's a scary situation because the car could be hit and anything could happen. So that's when I'm most anxious.
It's in resident. It's on the second floor of the Coles building too.
Yes, yes, I do.
So what do you do to start calming yourself down when you start feeling anxious?
Well, usually I kind of have to wait it out. In the car, I've had to just ask the person to stop, and I need to just like step outside and take some deep breaths and just try and breathe to get through it. But I don't really know what to do to make it stop.
What has seemed to work the best for you?
Probably just like trying to breathe like really deeply and just trying to think about remembering that like I'm okay and that I've ridden in the car a million times before, things like that.
So I'm going to have to ask you a lot of questions today since it's our first time of meeting, so I can get to know you better. Okay. What is your first childhood memory that comes to mind?
My first childhood memory is probably when I was really little. I was like 3 or 4, and it would just be trying to learn how to roller skate outside with my mom, and I would just keep falling. I was always really clumsy, and it was a really big deal, and I just was not being able to learn how to skate.
What was your relationship like with your parents?
I was always really close with my mom, but I had pretty much no relationship with my dad at all. He was hardly there, just very in and out, and when he was there, we didn't talk. We just had pretty much no relationship at all.
What was the relationship like between your parents?
They didn't really get along. I never saw them be affectionate with each other. It was just, he would come home and he'd expect dinner to be there, and if it wasn't, then he'd be very upset. Or, I just remember he was very like nitpicky about what he wanted mom to do, and mom was always very like nervous around him, and it just wasn't a very strong relationship at all.
What was it like when you first started elementary school?
When I first started elementary school, I remember I didn't go to preschool or anything, so it was really strange for me to be leaving home all day long to be going to kindergarten and school. and I wasn't, I didn't exactly fit in all the time with all my peers. I would get bullied sometimes, and it was not really my favorite thing. I would pretend to be sick so that I could stay home from school. I probably tried at least once a week, and I would be so convincing that I'd be able to stay home probably once or twice a month.
What was your favorite subject?
My favorite subject was probably reading. I just loved having a book, and if I was reading, that was just one of my favorite times because I'd just get completely immersed in the book. And I was reading probably all the time. I'd stay up really late to read, even into high school.
Did you have a favorite teacher?
I did have a favorite teacher. When my parents were going through a divorce while I was in second grade, I had a teacher who was just so kind, and she would give me hugs and was just really supportive, and she brought cookies into class. So she was just like a mom or grandma kind of figure, and I really liked having her as a teacher.
What was middle school like for you?
Middle school was very stressful. I changed schools, and I was going to a school where I didn't know anyone, and I'd gone from a private school to a public school. So there were no more uniforms, and it was a different city. So it was a lot of changes going on, and my parents had recently divorced, and there was just so much going on that it would just get very, very stressful.
What was the relationship like between you and your peers?
Well, I got picked on quite a bit in middle school because I was the teacher's pet, or people just didn't. I was really shy and wasn't able to connect with people very well.
Did you have a favorite teacher in middle school?
I did have a favorite teacher in middle school. His name was Mr. Kimmel, and he was really fun. He would let us play games during class, and he was always really considerate. And when I stayed after school, he would actually hang around and talk with me after school sometimes.
So when you got into high school, what was it like?
High school was getting better, but still not the most fun thing in the world. I was kind of more of a loner during high school, and
counterclockwise
but it wasn't that bad.
until you can't turn it lightly, and then go ahead and keep turning it about another quarter turn.
What was your relationship like with your friends in high school?
I had a couple close friends, but not any really big groups of friends or anything. And my close friends would change year to year, really.
Did you enjoy high school?
No, not very much at all.
What was it like after you got out of high school?
After I got out of high school, it was a lot better. I was able to come to a completely new place and kind of start over, and started getting out of my comfort zone and being able to relate to people better. And I still felt really nervous that I was far away from home and still have to kind of deal with that sometimes. But overall, it's been better than high school.
So what are your relationships like now with your friends and your family?
Well, I'm not very close with my family. My mom remarried, and I'm still close with my little sister. She's only 5 years younger than I am, so we're still really close. But and it's kind of similar to high school in that I have a couple close friends, but my closest friends are my suite mates, who are just like my sisters, and we all live in very close quarters together, and they're people I'm really close to.
Do you have a particular religion?
Yes, I'm a really strong Christian.
you have anything that you do daily, such as pray or meditate?
Yeah, I do pray in the morning, in the evening, in between my meals, and I have a portion of the Bible I try and read every single day.
Well, we've talked about several things today. We talked about how you started having problems with anxiety from the time you started school, and right now you're suffering from anxiety because your friend just died, and so sad.
We can edit that part out.
Okay. And you just seem like you're worried about losing your other friends. So the main concern you have is working on your problems with anxiety, is that right?
Yeah, it is.
Okay. Well, I've asked you a lot of questions today. Do you have anything you'd like to ask me?
I wanted to know if you have any suggestions on overcoming anxiety.
Well, what techniques have you used that's worked for you well in the past?
I guess the one that I've tried is kind of deep breathing. Is that a good one to keep trying to do?
Yeah, that's something that a lot of people do to help overcome their anxiety.
Okay. Well, awesome. I think that's everything.
Okay. Well, a lot of times when people meet a stranger, it's hard for them to talk about their life and their personal problems. But you've done a really good job today.
Well, thank you.
So I'd like to set you up another appointment for next week. Would next Thursday at 3 o'clock be good for you?
Yeah, that would be just fine.
Okay, I'll see you then.
Okay.